Hi guys, Angie here from Pear Collections. Hope you're having a fabulous day. Today I am joined by Katie Masters from Katie Masters Health for another edition of our Style Tips and Tricks, our guest feature edition. So last episode we kind of learned a bit more about Katie, about her journey as a Pear Shaped Woman and a personal trainer. So now we are going to be talking a wee bit more in depth into body image, actual what health is, different things about the positive effects of strength training and different things that are really good for pear-shaped women's bodies. So thank you so much for joining us again, Katie.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
No worries. So I think a really big thing about you and what I love about you as a personal trainer is that you get that we're humans. You get that, everyone has their favorite thing to eat or their favorite thing to drink, or that they have a lifestyle that even though they want to focus on being healthier, they still want to be able to live,
Yeah.
which I've had two personal trainers in the past, and I remember that was the biggest issue I had, is that they were not super strict, but they were just not acknowledging that I did have a lifestyle
Yeah.
as well. Like I had a life, I had things that I did that I want to do just healthier.
Yeah. Well, people
Um,
need to be ready to make
yeah,
them as well. And often you get in the fitness industry, you do get people that go straight into the fitness industry from school. And so they don't necessarily have the same life experience as your average person who's worked in an office or worked in retail or worked in hospitality. So it does help to have a bit of the background doing that stuff as well, because I have a little bit more perspective onto, you know, that just the mindset of the person that, is going to work every day and dealing with these different issues. Sometimes it's easy to just dictate, whereas you've got to realize that if someone's going to make change and make long-term change, they've got to want to make those changes and be ready to make those changes. And not everyone's ready, and it takes time, and you just got to work on their time scale. And, you might be training someone for 3 years, and then they'll actually one day just turn around and go, hey, I'm ready to do this. And it's like, great. But if I told them to do it from the start, they'd just get resentful and probably
they'd
just,
hate it and they would stop.
yeah. Or
Yeah.
lie, or they'd just go and train with, they might even just like fall off the wagon and not want to train and not want to keep working on themselves, because, no one's perfect. Everyone has their vices, and everyone has, not necessarily even a vice, everyone has their lifestyle and the things that make them happy and the things that are important to them. And you don't want to take that away from people, because then people just end up depressed and unhappy. And what's the point in being super lean and ripped if you're miserable?
Yeah, I think that's an issue that people have a big misconception about getting a trainer and starting to work on being healthy.
Yeah.
And I say healthy as like a broad mental health, physical health,
Yeah.
everything like that. Where, you know, because I know from my experience and everything, every time in the past when I've tried to start working out again or being healthier, eating healthier, or even just mentally trying to be nicer to myself,
Yeah.
I always treat it like it's a task or a chore
Yeah.
instead of something that is something that I'm choosing to do to change my
Yeah. It's
life
really terrible.
long term.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think like you do this really well, that you don't just focus on what their body goals are, but just their overall everything. Like
Life
what
goals.
is their health? Yeah, like I
Fantastic.
think it's really great.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, just to let everyone know, might be the third member that might possibly show up every once in a while. Hello, darling.
Oh, he just wants to bite my hands right now. This is why I need to be strong, so that I can take this abuse from my little fur baby, Sancho. Anyway, he just wants to, get his head on the.
He is adorable.
He's a big attention whore. Anyway.
Yes, yes, but he's cute, so it's okay.
Yes, he's way cuter than I am. Let's just put his head.
Well, yeah, so, what we were talking about and how I think it's really great that you focus on a healthy body image as well as a healthy person.
Yeah, because that's a big part of it. People really underestimate most of your health is dictated by your mental health. If you're not in a good place mentally, it's going to be, near impossible to be in a good place physically as well, because the stress of all of that and, just not dealing with things makes it a lot, like you might want to be losing weight, you might want to be getting healthier or, working on a health issue. But if you're not addressing underlying issues like what's causing you mental or physical stress or anything, if you're not working on that, if you're not sleeping properly, if you're not nourishing your body with foods that are good for you, if you're under eating, if you're overeating, if you're under recovering, any of these things can really affect your physical health and just the progress you make. You're more likely to get sick, you're more likely to get injured, you're more likely to get run down, you're more likely to, store belly fat and things like that if you're not looking at these other factors that make a huge impact on your overall health.
And I think, we've known each other for a while, so you know that I have been guilty of like all of the above in the past. But it's one of those things that I think like I've had to go through a journey to really accept my body and how my body works and everything like that. And it's only just really hitting me now how really tied in my mental health and my body health really does work
Yeah, because
together. Like,
I do a lot of practice,
which,
so yeah.
yeah, yeah, like it's crazy because I watched you go through the point when you were really unhealthy, when you were super stressed and everything. And I always knew that, stress could do that, but I'm a major stress head. And
Yeah,
there's been different things that have caused stress in the past few years, but
yeah, yeah,
I never thought it was affecting me the way it was affecting you. And
yeah,
now that I sit here and look at it, it's like, well, it was affecting me in other ways.
yeah,
It's not normal for someone to lose like 5 to 10 kilos because they're stressed in a week,
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's drastic.
which is what used to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
Even though
So,
you are petite and lean, you still have the same sort of body issues as everyone else has these days, really, because we're constantly bombarded with those types of things. But also, yeah, you would just lose weight and just like overnight be like, oh my god, and she's gotten really thin. Is she okay? Whereas my stress, exemplified itself in other ways, like affecting my cognitive function and other things. So
yes, which who would have thought? um, but yeah, and I think, because you have experienced all this yourself, you're really good at working that through with your clients
yeah,
and acknowledging that all of this might be an issue that we're not even talking about it, but this aspect in your life might actually be a really big issue with what's happening
yeah, yeah,
for the physical health, which is really great. And I think that's why we were chatting about it in last episode, the amazing work that can be done to your mental and physical health by doing different things like strength training and specific kinds of training that is
yeah,
really good for pairs to
yeah.
utilize to feel good. Do you want to chat about some of the things that you would suggest for pairs to focus on? And
Well, yeah, I think there's like not as much these days. It's sort of shifted a bit, but there used to be a real thing where, especially if you wanted to lose weight, if you wanted to, obviously a lot of pairs are self-conscious about having a lower body that is larger than upper body. So a lot of people would, go and do HIIT classes and smash themselves into the ground, which helps, raise your cortisol levels. So if you're already stressed, if you're sitting here like at a 9 out of 10 out of stress because your relationship's stressful, your workplace is stressful, your interactions with friends or family is stressful, you have other health issues that are causing you stress, and then you go and add that extra stress to your life. Even strength training can be quite stressful if you're not in the right physical space to actually be doing it. So there's, different ways, different methods of training, and like everything kind of has its season. Everyone has periods of their life when they're more stressed. And so it's looking at how you can train effectively to get strong without necessarily adding to your overall stress. And sometimes to get strong, you might need to do some walking to go and help you lower that overall stress. And then you'll be in a better position to actually, you'll have better cardiovascular system, you'll have all the different systems working a bit better, so that then you can go and do that strength training and add that extra stress. Or it might be that, you want to go to the gym and you want to get really strong, but you have like a real forward posture, your shoulders are rounded, your head sits forward, you get migraines, you get all these types of things that, are just really postural things from sitting at a desk all day, or, sitting in a desk, sitting in a car, sitting in a train, sitting on your couch, like all of these things. A lot of people have very common postural issues. Like when you come to the gym, it's like, okay, I can just look at you and go, yeah, we're gonna have to work on this, that before you get under a bar, because we need to correct these things so that you can actually move efficiently and not injure yourself and get the most out of what you're doing in terms of training. And then there's the whole side, the whole other part of what you're putting in your body. Like if you're a pair, you may be a pair structurally, or it might be even more related to your hormone balance. It might be that you have a hormone imbalance that is causing you to store fat in certain areas of your body, and that might be, your diet may help that, or you might be on things like the pill and other, things that might alter your hormonal makeup, which may also add to the problem. Maybe you weren't pear-shaped and then you got on the pill and then you were. There's lots of different things that can cause you to store body fat in the lower half, or you may just be structurally, you have a big pelvis. This is how you are, you're a woman, you're designed to have children, so chances are you might have bigger hips. So yeah, like it's just working around what the person, it depends on the individual, what's going to suit the person, where their stress levels are, what their body shape is, what their body goals are, what they really want to get out of it. I mean, I have a lot of clients that, yeah, they might be pear-shaped, but we don't necessarily want to make them any less pear-shaped. They, I have a lot of clients come to me, even guys, because they want to work on getting a bigger booty, because they feel like they've
yeah,
got,
I find that so funny. The ones who have the booty typically like naturally want to get rid of it, and those who don't have a booty want to get it.
that's the thing. Like if you can have a booty, you can naturally store fat in that area, or you could just not. And like either way, you may not have a shapely butt. So you want to do things, even if you're pear shaped or not. If you want to be more pear shaped, or balance in your body, you want to do things to give you strong glutes and strong hips, because regardless of, you might be self-conscious and go, I've got a big ass, so I don't want to work glutes. But no, you want to have a perky ass. You want it to be strong, because if you don't have a strong ass, when you get older, one of the biggest things, a lot of people in their older years, when they start to, decline, because after that age of 30, you start losing more and more muscle. And if you don't have muscle to start off with, then you're going to be in a worse position than someone that does. And so going into old age, one of the biggest things that really shows the decline of older people, post 70, is, when they have falls and they break their hips. And the reason that, these areas are really vulnerable is because people spend all their lives sitting on their ass, and that makes them even weaker. And I'm talking about people who are older now, who were more active than most people are these days. They have issues in these areas because they've got weak glutes, and and obviously just, over the years they've declined, because everyone does with age. But the more you can do now to build a stronger body and, have stronger hips and work on just having good, healthy, functioning muscle. You don't have to be jacked. You don't have to look like a bodybuilder. You don't have to look like a Kardashian, not that they're butts anyway, but allegedly. But you just want to have a body that works well. You want to function well. You're going to feel better in your clothes if everything feels firm and like it moves properly. So you're not, feeling wobbly, and it's just a generally.
And that's the thing I hate, is the wobbly.
And you don't have to be tiny. There's nothing wrong with being a bit bigger and just being healthy. Like, it's better to be healthy than not to be healthy. And you can be a skinny pear and not be healthy at all. Like, it's better off.
I can atone for that. When I was my skinniest, I still was very much a pear, and I was not healthy. I was not eating right. I was not mentally doing well. My activity was basically zero. It was just for work. And my thing with pear is, like, people assume pear is plus size,
and it's not.
And that yeah, it's a body shape, and no matter what size you are, it doesn't take your pearness away.
Yeah, you can still be heavy if you're a size 6 or you're a size 26.
Yeah, and it's all just about being healthy. Like, I'm one of those big believers that be the size that you want, like be the size that feels the healthiest for you. Just make sure you're healthy. If that means that, my sister compared to me is massive. Her shoulders are almost twice the width of my shoulders. Yeah. She's almost 5'12". Like, she's so much bigger. Her natural healthy body weight is much heavier than mine. Yeah, and that's okay.
And she's bigger proportion.
Yeah, so I think, and it's one of the things too as well, like when you start working out and do your strength training and do anything, you lose fat and gain muscle, which weighs more.
Yeah, and that's the thing. This is like the worst thing to look at when it comes to making changes to your body anyway. I mean, I am pear-shaped, but I'm not as pear-shaped as I used to be, because we did a lot of work on, because I did boxing. I was, training to box for a while, and I had a lot of shoulder issues. So we did a lot of work on fixing my shoulders and building a stronger structure there, so that I don't have issues with my shoulders, and so I can do other exercises and things that I want to do without to be pain-free. And so in doing a lot of work on building up my shoulders and building up my lats and like the supporting structures, I'm not quite as pear-shaped, because I have got more of a V shape now, and that's all just from building muscle. So, where I used to struggle to fit into a dress because I was like a size, when I was larger, I was like a size 10 on top and a size 16 on the bottom. Now I'm pretty much a 10-ish everywhere. And so
yeah, I do agree with that.
Yeah. I am still bottom heavy, but now I have like broader shoulders from actually working on my shoulders and back, so that because I want to be really strong. So I want to be able to squat heavy.
You'd like to be healthy, you have those issues with your shoulders, and
but
by having your muscle, it stops those issues.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you lose, a lot of the time when people have issues with their posture, it's because they've lost the musculature to actually hold their body upright. Like, sure, I slouch when I sit too, but then I can correct it. Some people can't correct it. They're in that fixed posture because they've just lost, things are tight, things are weak, and they've lost the ability to actually correct it. Like, sometimes they've just lost the actual, like, my muscle connection to actually do that. It takes a long time to learn some of those things again as well. And, you might be wanting to go to the gym and get instant results. And sometimes you just have to like take a step back and go, no, I just need to fix my shit first, so that I can actually move properly and not injure myself and be pain-free. And, in my case, I wanted to be able to squat heavy. I wanted to be able to do all these things and lift heavy weights. I can't do that if my upper body's weak, because the body moves as a whole. So I can't hold a bar on my shoulders if my shoulders can't support a bar. So it doesn't matter, whatever I wanted to do.
Very well said.
It was wrong overall. And that meant that my body changed. And so, I'm not as much of a pear shape now, but I mean, I'm still bottom heavy, but so there's a lot of things you can do with strength training and diet and exercise and, looking at balancing hormones and things like that, that can actually alter your body shape as well, if it is a significant problem and it causes you a lot of grief. And there's, there's nothing wrong with being pear shaped, but if it's something that you find is a problem for you, then there's things that you can do naturally just by working on your health that may help it as well.
Yeah, I love it. This has been a really good episode. I really love it. We are going to be going on to a next episode where we're going to go into a bit more ways that you can do all of these amazing things that Katie is suggesting a bit more in depth. So make sure you do follow up with us next week's episode. And as always, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, all the jazz. For these episodes, I am going to be including all of Katie's socials as well, so you can get connected with her. She does really great stories throughout the week about what she's doing with her clients and everything like that. And I find that really, really helpful, just as someone who's trying to eat a bit better and be a bit healthier. So make sure to check that out. And as always, guys, love your curves. Bye.
Right.